Salve Discipuli. Alright, today we're going to learn the grammar of lesson 32. You'll notice I've not included Miss Ice in this video. You're welcome. Alright, the first thing we're going to learn is what your textbook calls a defective verb. What that means is it's a verb that doesn't follow all the typical patterns that we'd expect for verbs. There's only so much you need to know about this verb at this point. Okay, this is very limited in scope. So here we go. The verb is inquam, all right, and it basically means to say. Okay, the form inquam in particular means I say. Here are the other forms that you just need to be aware of, and there's not much. Inquis will be you say. Inquit will be he, she, or it says. Inquiunt will be they say. Alright, that's really all you need to know, with the exception of the fact that this inquit form right here can also be the perfect tense, so it could mean he, she, or it said. Alright, that's it. Just 4 forms that we need to worry about. Okay, one form does double duty. I say, you say, he, she, or it says or said, and they say. That's all there is to this. Now, these will often be associated with direct quotations. Okay, so expect our textbook to use quotation marks in sentences with this. Okay, like something like this. Mater filius inquit est bona. Okay? So the mother, the son says, is good. Or my mother, the son says, is good. So note the presence of inquit. Note the presence of the quotation marks here and here. Okay, so that's a typical use of inquit. Now this inquit word will often come after the quotation. Like you'll start a bit of the quotation here, then the inquit verb, then finish the quotation on the other side. That's very typical. In fact, we've seen it already, and you handled it. You handled it just fine. So this is not going to be a major deal for us. All right. Next idea. We're going to get another new verb, and this is a very, very, very common verb that often gets missed. Okay, it goes possum, possa, potui. It does not have a fourth principal part, and it means can or be able. So this is how you say I can, or you can, or he is able, or we were able, things like that. Really what this word is it's really the form POT, which means able, plus sum, which means I am. That's really what's going on here. But what happens a lot of times when you put the T and the S together is it ends up coming out like this, possum. Instead of potsum, no T here, they say possum. Okay, so why do I make a big deal out of that? Because if you know your forms of sum and you're prepared to add POT to it, and you're prepared to change the T to an S occasionally, this is going to be easy. Let me show you what I mean. Here is the present tense form of possum, to be able. And the good news is there's no passive voice. It's all active. Possum, that's just sum plus pot. That's I am able. Potess, that's S plus pot, you are able. Potest, he, she, or it is. Whoops. He, she, or it is able. Get the idea? To say we are able, we'd say possumus, which is simply we are plus the able part. To say y'all are able, potestis, which is just estis plus the pot part. And to say they are able, it's possunt. Sunt, they are, plus the able part. So there's your present tense. Okay, possum, potest, potest, possumus, potestis, possunt. All right, now let's take a look at the imperfect. All right, this is not going to be hard. It's simply going to be POT plus the imperfect of sum. Poteram, poteras, poterat. Okay, I was able, you were able, he was able. Poteramus, you guys should be seeing a pattern at this point. Poteratus, poterant. Okay, all this is eramarasarat, eramasratus erant plus POT. All right, that's the imperfect. Now the future. Guess what? This is going to be easy too. It's just POT plus the future form of sum. Potero, poteris, poterit, poterimus, poteritus, poterant. Okay? So again, eroeris erit, erimus eritus erunt. Those are the future forms of sum. We just added POT to it. It now means I will be able, you will be able, he will be able. It's actually very logical. Now, when we get to the perfect tense, and the pluperfect tense, and the future perfect tense, we know we must start with the third principal part of the verb. So that means all of these stems are going to go off of the potui here. Okay? More to the point, the stem for all of these, for perfect, pluperfect, future perfect, the stem will be POTU. Okay? POTU. So for the perfect tense, we end up with potui, potuisti, potuit. Isti, it. Potuimus, potuistis, and potuerant. Okay, isti, it, imus, istis, erant, plus potu. I have been able, you have been able, etc. Okay, now I realize for a lot of us at this point, this is a little bit confusing. We're seeing a lot of different forms. I don't expect you to have these mastered, but I do want you to have them in your notes. What about, whoops, I'm sorry. What about the pluperfect? All right, now we're going to get potueram. Notice the potu part. Potueras. Potuerat. Potueramus. Potueratus, potuerant. Okay, note the POTU, then eramarasarat, eramasratus erant. All right, I had been able, you had been able, he had been able, etc. All right, we're almost done here. Future perfect. Again, we'll start with the potu. Then we're going to add arrow, potueris, potuerit, potuerimus, potueritus, potuerint. So there's your future perfect. Potu plus eroeris erit, erimus eritus erint. I will have been able, you will have been able, he will have been able, etc. All right, gentlemen, I'm actually going to cut it off right there. That's all we're going to do. There's a little more in terms of grammar for this lesson, but I'll have us focus on that most likely in class tomorrow, or at the very latest in a video tomorrow. But I want to keep this one short. I know I've given you a lot of the different forms, so we'll cut it off right there. Waleta.